If I were in the marketing department over in Shueisha, in Weekly Shonen Jump, specifically in the One Piece section, by now, I would have pitched a commercial, a parody, at the very least a YouTube video, of somebody doing the most interesting man in the world, but with a One Piece twist on it. Why? Because we have like 100 of them. You could pick any of the part-timers in this series. Any of them. And it would all fit. It would leave the viewer like, oh man, this person is spitting facts. Interesting man in the world, Shanks. Most interesting man in the world, Blackbeard. Instant Messenger Sama. You call it, I don't know, you call it, and you know it's facts. Whitebeard, Roger, any of the part-timers. But there's one, man. There is one that right now has that title without question. It is an individual. He is an individual that we met back in chapter 100. And now, over 900 chapters later, he is even more interesting now, and even more mysterious now, and even more fascinating now with the stuff that we've learned about him and with little bits and clues that we've gotten for his character than he was even back then. Ladies and gentlemen, the most interesting man in the world, the world's most dangerous criminal, our beloved green hoodied goat, the man with the mysterious tattoo on his face, the individual who is the pops of Monkey D. Luffy. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have to sit down and have a conversation about Monkey D. Dragon, man. So I think that no matter where your overall interest in Monkey D. Dragon as a character resides, whether you're extremely fascinated and every time he shows up, you're out here losing your mind, marking out, or if you're on the bottom where you don't care, it's like, hey man, he left Luffy to screw that guy, Monkey D. Dragon. I don't care if we ever see him again. Just, show us some Sabo, show us some Revolutionary Army, but Dragon, I don't care if we ever see him. I don't know which side of the spectrum you're on, but I think regardless of how much interest you have in Dragon, the motivation as to why he is doing whatever it is that he's about to do, why it is that he has this determination to directly oppose a group that everyone else in the One Piece world fears, why it is that he is known as the world's most dangerous criminal, what drove him to create this faction, the Revolutionary Army, to want to take down the Celestial Dragons. What is it that caused it? And I'm sure the general consensus by this point is that it has to do something, anything, with Luffy's mother and the circumstances surrounding Luffy's birth, or whatever caused Dragon to choose the path of the revolutionary rather than becoming a marine or a pirate. Now, we don't know if this man attempted to become a pirate or a marine. My thought process has always been that at some point in time, he had to have been at the very least in marine training, because it appears that he and Smoker are acquaintances at the very least. At the very minimum, they know each other and they've talked to each other before. And so, because of the way they spoke to each other in chapter 100, I am led to believe that there had to have been some marine training involved. The way that Sakazuki speaks about Dragon, like how when he found out that Luffy was Dragon's son, my man said, Roger's son? Not my priority. The war? Not my priority. I am taking out Dragon no Musco. And what... This man, a guy who was stressing the fact that Luffy was Dragon's son, bro. There's got to be some sort of connection there, man. I can't wait to see it. But overall, general consensus, I think, is that we're all interested in the circumstances of Luffy's birth. We're all interested in why it is the Revolutionary Army exists, and that's all going to connect to when we eventually do get Dragon's story. That is going to be crazy, and that's going to be incredible. We're going to get a lot of these questions answered by that time. But I recall back to an interview done by Sandman. I wish I could find it again. I talked about this a few years ago. But there was an interview, and I forget what magazine it was, and it was translated by Sandman. But it was that Oda wants to draw a story with Garp, which I think became eventually the whole Rocks story. Now, I could be wrong about that. But he wanted to draw something with Garp that correlates with the circumstances of Luffy's birth and the formation of the Revolutionary Army and stuff like that. Now, I'm paraphrasing there. Don't take me word for word on that. But I think that's at least how I took it, right? And so I can't wait to see that. We know that in Oda's mind, at least, he wants to talk about Luffy's birth and the formation of the Revolutionary Army. And the most important part of that, in both parts, and creating Monkey D. Luffy and creating the Revolutionary Army, is Dragon. And so at the very center of the rest of these questions I'm about to ask is that why is it that he created the Revolutionary Army, and what caused him to directly oppose the Celestial Dragons? That is the thing. Like, whenever you think to what did Luffy get from Dragon, you think to the fact that he does not give a flying flag towards who he's opposing. When he's gonna do something, when he believes in something that strongly, oh, he's gonna do it. And it's the impact he has on other people as well. He has crafted this pirate crew, or not even a pirate crew, the Revolutionary Army, his own JRPG squad, if you will, right? From all different parts of the world. And they all respect the Flagnards out of him. I mean, these individuals, once they are under Dragon, they're like, yo, that's my guy. That's my guy. You think back to the stuff that Ivankov said to him. You think about the conversations that Dragon had with Sabo and those implications about how Dragon feels about nobility and what it means to be a noble in the world of One Piece. His conversations with Kuma and those little bits and pieces that you get. And then how does he truly feel about his son? It's like, he said he's not going to stand in the way of his voyage. Obviously, he's a major advocate for freedom. If not, he wouldn't be doing this entire revolutionary everything in the first place. So where is that all going to correlate and connect, man? I don't know. But one thing's for sure is that we're going to get those answers sooner rather than later, especially if this Sabo plotline continues to escalate outside of Wano, man. We're going to see Dragon move. He has to move. If his second in command is currently out in the struggle, if whatever happens with Sabo is not going to be resolved anytime soon, that is going to lead into Dragon making his move soon. And that's my next question, man. When will this man make his move? When will it be his time? Because we see that right now he's made his move, but he himself hasn't moved. He's putting the pieces together. When is it that the king, when is it the commander, the supreme commander of the Revolutionary Army makes his move against Instant Messenger Sama, man? Because we got to have that moment. At some point in time in this series, we have to have a direct confrontation between Monkey D. Dragon and Instant Messenger Sama. Because obviously, the next question, I guess, that could be created from that is, how much does Dragon know? Does Dragon know of the existence of Instant Messenger Sama? And if he does, is that directly related to why it is that he wants to go against them? Now here's the thing. If Dragon really does know, if not all of it, then at the very least major bits and pieces of the Void Century, then depending on what it is, we might not find out why it is that Dragon is doing what he's doing until we get into real endgame of One Piece, man. Because if what he's, or maybe we get Dragon's flashback or his perspective of it, and then in the middle of his flashback, we get a Robin situation where, within her flashback, we got to hear, Clover about to name drop the name of the Ancient Kingdom, and they pwned him on sight because they were not having none of that. We could have a situation like that, except in my eyes, I think that we will get bits and pieces of the Void Century through Dragon's Point. I mean, who else is going to reveal it, right? Besides Robin. So for me, that would be an ideal point to get us in that motion, because I know at the end of Wano, for sure, we're going to have bits and pieces of the Kozuki clan and more of the Void Century. But I think Dragon's arc is really what's going to propel us towards the truly dark portions of the One Piece universe, because that has to be what is driving this man to do this, bro. I mean, what else would, unless it's something that took place in the present, which is obviously the general consensus, right? But even behind that, like, how much does this man know, and how much of it is a driving force for his actions? They've got to go hand in hand. They have to go hand in hand, man. And then the thing is, it's like, with that being said, what kind of abilities does he have? This man, Dragon, is like that DMC5 battle theme with Virgil. My man's is the weatherman, bro. He is the storm that is coming to go in. Dragon is Virgil confirmed. But seriously, like, what is it? What is it? Is it a fruit? Is it hockey? I'm not sure. But what I do know, and what I can guarantee right now, is that this man If Garp's battle prowess is on another level to where he was boxing Roger, we know what Luffy's doing. I don't even have to talk about the king, the goat with the coat, the goat right there, man. That's D Luffy. My man's in the middle of that. So Dragon has to have fighting prowess. His battle prowess has to be next level to form this faction. I understand that within the world of One Piece, there are many individuals within power that aren't physically strong, right? But we're talking about Luffy's father. We know how fathers work in the anime and manga spectrum. These dudes are normally extremely OP. So if Dragon is not extremely OP, I'm going to be very, very shocked. And if he is extremely OP, it has to be connected to either his fruit, his hockey, or both. And based on what we've seen so far and what Oda wants us to see with how he's, how it's some sort of coincidence that every time he shows up, there's some sort of storm or some sort of thing, there has to be a connection there. There's no doubt in my mind. And that is very dangerous. In a world so heavily relying on travel by sea and things you do out at sea, if you fight a person like Dragon who can sink your ship and who can immediately cause some sort of weather change, that by itself would make you one of the most dangerous individuals off of fruit alone, let alone his ambitions, right? And then I guess that leads into the final question that I have. And this is the question and a part of character design that I really love about Oda, because he always puts something in there, and then, and not only just when it comes to character design, island design too. I think back to the first time I thought about this, which was back in Whiskey Peak, when you would look like those things, they of course look like cactuses, and you're like, okay, not gonna think about that any further. And then we found out later on that they were actually tombstones, and it's like, yo, and you get to find out a little backstory about Whiskey Peak, and that's how every character and island is in the story. You go in, you see something, and then eventually it becomes a whole nother thing, and it just changes, it recontextualizes the entire conversation. Could you imagine that we get the Void Century flashback and we see Dragon's tattoo within it? Like multiple individuals carrying this thing. I don't know who it is it would be. I don't know if it would be the D-Clan, Joy Boy, somebody else. So we see them, let's just say at the end of Wano. Right, for the first time, we get to see somebody from the Void Century, what their actual face looked like, whatever. And we get to see Dragon's tattoo. Do you know how many questions would immediately be raised? I mean, first and foremost, if it truly is a tattoo from that time period, or if it's a tattoo representing some sort of thing from that time period, then the very first question to be raised would be like, how does he know? You know what I mean? Like, what in the world caused Dragon to gain so much of this knowledge? And is that what messed him up? Is that what caused him to go out and do this? Because all this stuff is connected. His abilities, why he's doing it, what caused him to do it, when is it going to be his time? How much does he know? The tattoo, all of it is going to be connected, man. And that's the craziest thing about it. Like, we're going to get so many answers back to back to back when the time comes. And it's got to be soon. With the way the Sabo plotline has been going, Dragon's time is incoming. And that's why I wanted to take this opportunity. While we had a break week, while we're all chilling and thinking about what's going on in Roof Piece and the greatness of Onigashima, I wanted to take a step back, remember what's going on outside of the world, and think about the leader of the organization that is about to make their move very, very soon. They've already started, but with supposedly them making their moves on his men right now in Sabo, Dragon's time to move is soon. We're about to start seeing some crazy stuff, both probably in battle and within the story. I'm telling you right now, besides Shanks versus Blackbeard, in terms of characters outside of the Straw Hats, outside of Shanks versus Blackbeard, the number one confrontation I'm looking forward to from here until the end of the story is Dragon versus Instant Messenger Sama. It doesn't have to be a fight. I just want to see them talk. I don't care if the conversation is vague. I don't care if the conversation leaves out so many holes that by the Flagmas you can make a new SpongeBob figure out of it. I don't care. I just need those two individuals in the same room at the same time, or in the same island or whatever, talking. Because I feel like that conversation is going to be the biggest and most eye-opening conversation, even if we don't get answers. Because however Dragon speaks to this individual is going to tell us everything that we need to know about why it is that Dragon moves in the way that he does. Because if we see Instant Messenger Sama's personality being a certain type of way, and the way that Dragon reacts to that, it's just, we need it. We need it. I need it. You need it. The world's most interesting man, Monkey D. Dragon. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Let me know what you guys are most excited for when it comes to Monkey D. Dragon and his future in the One Piece story. And I look forward to seeing when the next time he shows up. And all of us are going to be like, sweet mother of Flagnars, is it time to at the very least get more of an indication as to any of these questions? I'll see y'all next time. Monkey D. Dragon. Telling y'all, man, it's going to be great. When we dive into this Revolutionary Army stuff, that's when we're going to hit the core of like, yo, what is really happening behind the scenes in the One Piece world, bro. Man.